All right. Welcome, everybody, to our Fighting for Better Health series. We are excited to share with you guys on how you guys can heal thyself. We want to give you the tools to help you not only heal thyself, but we want to help educate you, help you be accountable to good health, and most importantly, love what you do and do what you love. And most importantly, person to love is yourself. We have been doing this series now. I believe we are on episode 14 of our Fighting for Better Health. We have many, many great topics and great tips and talents that have shared and come to you. So I highly recommend, if you'd like to learn more, see more, or hear more, go to our Longevity Down Under YouTube channel, and you'll get a chance to see some more of these great topics. Each topic that we have not only talks about how you can heal thyself, but also some great supported products, people, and tips and techniques that you can do to make yourself feel 100% better. So today our topic happens to be, believe it or not, why we need salt, and as well as a certain thing about our memory, as well as the importance of it. We know we are being attacked more than ever before with dementia, Alzheimer's, and just the bottom line brain fog. And so today we have a fantastic speaker on the topic. He is well adversed and has taken a deep dive into this topic to share with us. His name is Grant McGuinness, and we call him a true warrior in every sense. For 24 years, he has served with honors in our Royal Australian Survey Corp. Beyond his military service, he has also done 3 years as a student and a coach in Aikido, and
30
as
years.
also, did I say that right? Aikido?
30 years.
30
30 years.
years, three
30 years.
decades.
Yeah.
I said 3 decades. Did I not? Three
No, you
decades.
said 3 years. That's all right.
Okay, 3 decades. So, of course, 3 years. But he's done many things. He's competed in orienteering as well as run a successful mobile dog grooming business for 2 decades, and is
That's all right.
recently retired. But what makes Grant's journey so remarkable is his resilience of being able to battle and triumph stage 3 throat cancer. And through all this, he's emerged with a profound appreciation for the power of nutrition, particularly the message that he champions by Dr. Wallach, Ben Fuchs, Peter Glidden, regarding the whole critical role of minerals in our diets, as well as he is the founder and administrator of the Warrior Immune System Facebook group, which has over 6,000 members. So anyway, Grant is dedicated to spreading the awareness about transformation and the impact minerals do have on our health. Forgive me, I've had a really tough day today, and I'm just so grateful for the minerals that I've taken to be able to show up today for you guys 100% better. So Grant, welcome to the call today. Thank you so much for taking the time. Tell us what brings you here to us to share tonight.
Well, what brings me here is Dr. Wallach's wrote a book, or put out a talk, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, some years ago. Happened to read it about, or see it on the internet about 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and that's kept me alive. So without that talk, I don't think I'd be here. If that's what brings me here, that's what brings me here.
Well, there you
And
go. And how amazing that all of us on this call have access to that Dead Doctors Don't Lie link. And we get to share it to the world and change people's lives by sharing that message. And how amazing, just even sharing what it's done for you. How awesome is that? So tell us from there, what have you discovered and what is it that you want to share with us tonight?
well, tonight we're going to talk about Alzheimer's disease, how to avoid it. I'll go through. I'll tell you my story. We'll look at what it took for me to question the system, Alzheimer's disease around the world, salt, cholesterol, how to avoid Alzheimer's disease, and the habits that make curing or getting over anything difficult. And the objective of this talk is for you to avoid Alzheimer's disease, or people out there, for the rest of their life. All right, my story. I grew up in Geelong, Victoria, a single mum, 3 younger sisters, and I had the best mum in the world. Mum wanted us to take us to the snow, but she couldn't afford to take us skiing. So we we immigrated to Canada and ended up in a town called Edmonton, which you know quite well, Tracy.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Gracie grew up around Edmonton. When I actually talk to Gracie for any length of time, because I spent so much time there, I don't actually hear her accent after about half an hour because my ears kind of used to it. In the mid-winter school holidays, we would go to Banff and Jasper. You would know where they are, Tracy.
I do.
Yep, and we would stay in the youth hostels. And in the youth hostels, they were log cabins with a wooden fire, and we had to get our water from the creek, and I needed an axe to go and get my water because I had to chop a hole in the ice to put my bucket into the water and pull out the and pull it out, bring it back into the house. And the outside dunny, in Canada, it gets quite cold, and so the poo would climb up out of the hole, so to speak, and it wouldn't thaw out until springtime. So that was something for an Australian. And we slept there with our little summer Australian sleeping bags, but we had they had good blankets there, thankfully. And then Tracy would know, but it's odd for an Australian, but in the winter time, I had to walk to school in the dark and walk home in the dark. Okay, and for our summer holiday, we drove down to Mexico and back. In those days, that was 53 years ago. We were the only Caucasians that I saw for about 2 weeks in Mexico. So it was quite odd. And there was me with 5 women, Mum, my 3 sisters, and another girl called Lois. What I'm getting at is Mum, and the next holidays we drove around Europe. So Mum has driven all around America with us, Mexico, most of the countries of Europe, but Mum had no clue how a car worked. She would give me a screwdriver to change a wheel. What I'm getting at is that you can use something perfectly well, but not have a clue how it works. You just have to know how to use it. And Mum could drive a car, but she couldn't understand mechanics at all. Mum, start where you stand, go with what you've got, and the stars will never align up. Just start. For a long time, we had a kitchen table, but we had skis, but no kitchen table. I've spent 24 years in the regular army, deployed overseas 6 times, mostly out in the scrub where some people had never seen a white man before. I rode a push bike to work for 20 years and, as Tracy said, I was competitive in orienteering. For 30 years, 3 decades, I was an Aikido student coach, running several thousand classes. Last 20 years, I've been a mobile dog washer and just recently retired. Well, on that note, I see a lot of dogs, and my dog Xena is a Doberman. She's 10 years old, and her teeth are perfect, and her skin is just about perfect. I've had no health issues with her at all because we understand nutrition. And I see a lot of sick dogs. What it took for me to question the system. Look, we think we all do, but I never really questioned the system until I received a death sentence in 2011. My doctor rang me up personally, asked me to come to her office and suggested that I bring my wife, and that wasn't a good sign. I'd never actually thought it was a big problem up until then. Stage 3 throat cancer with the primary at the base of my tongue and the secondary as a little lump underneath my neck. I copped 35 radiotherapy sessions, 5 chemotherapy sessions, 8 teeth removed just before the radiotherapy killed them. My tonsils removed just in case, and a feeding tube inserted into my stomach just to keep me alive. 6 months of not being able to eat, drink, talk, brush my teeth, or leave the house much gave me plenty of time to think, and I started to question the system. I'm 178 centimetres tall, which is 5'10" in American terms. My ideal weight was 74 kilos, and that's 163 pounds. At the time, I weighed about 86 kilos, which is about 190 pounds. So I was a little bit overweight, but not much. But that was probably the only symptom that my body was starved of nutrients. It took me well over a year to find Dead Doctors Don't Lie by Dr. Wallach, and I listened to it end to end in tears for 3 times. I finally understood why I got cancer, as I never smoked, was only a moderate drinker, and just a little overweight. Plus, I was still exceptionally fit. I got cancer because I ate a lot of bread. I never added salt to taste to my food. Being exceptionally fit, I went through my nutrients way faster than most people, and I never effectively supplement. I was told many times by all sorts of healthcare workers that I would make Christmas. That's 11 years ago, full stop. Mentally, I stayed positive by practicing my Aikido at Tai Chi speed while sitting on the floor for 2 or 3 hours twice a day. Today, I'm a long way from dead, while most of the others are not. I put this down to taking action on the answers that were hidden in plain sight. A couple of years ago, Tracy organised a Zoom meeting with Dr. Wallach, where I was able to thank him personally. He told me that I saved myself by going against the advice of my family, friends, associates, and the medical system, and adjusting my diet and taking my nutritional supplements properly. That one got to me. I don't know if you noticed it, Dave Tracy, but I was in, yeah. I have the power. I've always had the power. I just didn't know that I had any power. Now, here, in the last, Alzheimer's disease barely existed in the 1950s and in the 1960s. It wasn't taught to medical doctors until the 1970s. The first case of Alzheimer's was in 1901 by Dr. Alois Alzheimer, a German psychologist. Now, in the last 30 years, since 1990, Alzheimer's has gone up 300%. Interesting looking at the figures as well. Bipolar disease in the youth has gone up 10,000%. Chronic fatigue syndrome has gone up 11,000%. And fibromyalgia, 7,000%. 7,000%. The next, what I have done is I've gone to the worldlifeexpectancy.com webpage and looked up Alzheimer's dementia. What they do there is all the countries of the world put in their information about who died from what cause all over the world. And they work it into deaths per 100,000. So in Finland, they have 54.7 people for every 100,000 will die from Alzheimer's and dementia. The life expectancy of the Finnish is 81.6 years. In Singapore, they have 0.4 deaths per 100,000. That's less than half a person. And their life expectancy is 83.2 years. Now, I'll go through some other countries of interest. In the UK, they'll have 42.7 deaths per 100,000. In the USA, it's 33.3. Australia loses 22.6 people per 100,000. China loses 17.4. Poland loses 3.7. And back to Singapore again, they lose top of the tree, they lose 0.4. And I bet the doctors in Singapore don't worry about low salt diets or cholesterol levels. And the fact that Alzheimer's is, to the best of my knowledge, a $355 billion a year industry in North America might play a factor. Comparing America, if we go to Mississippi, then they'll have, for every 100,000 people in Mississippi, they'll lose 52.8. In Washington, D.C., they'll lose 10. So if you want to not die from Alzheimer's disease, drive from Mississippi to Washington. Now, what are the main reasons for for the variation? Genetic, difference in doctors, environmental, or all of the above? I know what I think. I know what Tracy thinks, but you have to work that out for yourself. Females to males, 75 and above. Women are 2.3 times more likely to die from Alzheimer's disease than men. For every 100,000 women over 75 in North America, in America, 76,187 will die. These figures are all downloadable from the internet. You don't have to remember them. Males, 32,847 at the time I looked at it. That's 2.3. Why are women sicker than men? It's interesting. Women are far better Women bleed and bear children, which uses up their nutrients faster than men do. They're also 2.3 times better at following doctor's orders than men are. Okay, now I'll read directly from Dr. Glidden's book. More than 5 million Americans have Alzheimer's disease right now. It's projected, and this was written in about 2012, it's projected by the year 2050, the number could hit 16 million. In the USA, 1 in 3 senior citizens dies from Alzheimer's disease. Since the year 2000, deaths from Alzheimer's disease have increased 89%. 90% of the rest of the part of the brain that is affected by Alzheimer's disease is made from cholesterol. 75% of the brain, which is made from cholesterol. The vast majority of your central nervous system is made from cholesterol. Cholesterol is so important to the body that your body makes it. That's why it can't be considered an essential nutrient, by the way, because your body makes it. If it wasn't for that, then it would be considered an essential nutrient. Cholesterol, it is reasonable to assume that when you drive your cholesterol into the ditch with statin drugs, fat-free diets, and exercise, your brain will dry up. The medical community even admits now in published research that one of the side effects of cholesterol-lowering statin drugs is dementia. But that multi-million-dollar industry is not going to give up without a fight. So don't expect your MD to recommend that you stop your statin drugs anytime soon. That's Dr. Peter Glidden. It wasn't until the late 1960s that doctors started fussing about our salt levels and our cholesterol levels. Now, we'll talk about salt. All animals need salt. If a farmer burns down a tree in a paddock, as soon as it's cooled down, the sheep, cows, pigs, kangaroos, and whatever will crowd around nibbling at the wood ash. Wood ash contains salt. It also and has a salty taste. It's also an excellent source of plant-derived minerals, because the tree can absorb the minerals just as well as a carrot. We can eat the carrot, but we can't eat the tree. The fire burns away all the rubbish, if you like, and just leaves the minerals exposed. When our caveman ancestors started living with fire, they gained a continuous supply of salt and other plant-derived colloidal minerals from the wood ash. It wasn't the cooking of meat that was a catalyst for making man bigger, stronger, smarter, healthier, and longer lived, but the dusting of meat and other plants in the wood ash for the salty taste. Doing this also gave man a continuous supply of minerals. Man has been supplementing with plant-derived minerals for as long as we've been living with fire, something like 1.2 million years. It's only today that we no longer cook with fire and we no longer add wood ash to our meals that we're no longer supplementing. And in the primitive parts of the world, they still add wood ash to their salt because salt is hard to get. Millions of years ago, we were fish in the sea, and then we became a type of mud skimmer. Over a million years, we developed into an ape, a smart ape, and our blood and organs are still salty like seawater from whence we came. That is why we're given saline salt solutions in hospitals, not distilled water solutions. There we go. In digestion. If you can read that. Oh, it's probably all back to front. It'll be back to front. Sorry. Yeah, it'll be back to front.
No, it's not. It wasn't back to front.
Wasn't it?
No.
Okay. If you can read that, then we have that's water plus water's H2O plus salt, NaCl, equals stomach acid, which is hydrogen chloride, plus sodium plus oxygen. It's only grade 10 chemistry. Now, weak stomach acid does not break down food well. And the symptoms of weak stomach acid are GERD, indigestion, acid reflux, and gas. Yes, they are caused by weak stomach acid, not strong stomach acid. Antacids, proton pumps inhibitors, carbonated drinks when eating weaken stomach acid and reduce our ability to break down food well enough to release whatever nutrients it contains. Sending a message around the body. Sodium has a slight positive charge and chlorine a slight negative charge. That's why they bond together quite well. The body's able to separate them. How the body does it, I don't know, but it does it. The brain uses what's called a sodium-potassium pump to send to send messages around the system, around the body. That's how minerals are used up, or part of the reason why minerals are used up. And that's part of the reason why sweat has a salty taste and why exercise without supplementation is suicide. Heating and cooling of the body uses the principle of osmosis to move fluid around the body. And that is why people tend to, on salt-restricted diets, tend to die on hot days. Stomach acid is also required to keep the stomach acid sterile and free of bacteria, viruses, and yeast, partly to keep the stomach acid environment at low pH. Below 2 results in organism overgrowth, gastric fermentation, and reflux. This acid gastric environment is also required to facilitate the absorption of B12. Salt helps the body to absorb nutrients. Salt today is cheap, but years ago it was worth more than gold because no man or beast could live without it. A salt deficiency will make us hungry. That is why salt and vinegar chips, that sort of thing, go quite well. I don't know if anyone knows all the uses that salt has for the body, but that's the top few. Now we'll move on to cholesterol. This is by Dr. Joe Wallach, Bachelor of Science, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, postdoctorate pathologist, and ND. A cholesterol deficiency produces Alzheimer's disease, makes menopause a living hell, and results in low T, which is low testosterone, and ED in males, erectile dysfunction in males. Cholesterol is an essential part of the cell of every wall, brain, and spinal cord, and is the raw material for the human body to manufacture vitamin D, bile acids, steroid hormones. The sex hormones are 2/3 by weight cholesterol, and nearly all hormones for that matter. Cholesterol is not a fat, but it's a type of lipid. Lipids are a reverse group of molecules that include fats, oils, steroids. Cholesterol is a waxy, fat-like substance that's found in all cells of the body. Every cell, if this is the cell, the outside is cholesterol, and the outside of the cell decides what nutrients go in and what waste products can come out. It's very, very essential. Cholesterol is also part of hormones, and hormones regulate how we supply nutrients to every part of the body. They manage digestion, absorption, utilization, and storage of nutrients, sex hormones, metabolism, stress response, electrolyte balance, pretty well everything. Our body is run by our hormones. You also need, for vitamin D, an interaction between cholesterol, skin, the liver, and exposure to sunlight give us vitamin D. And bile production, when the food, if we eat it in the mouth, it goes into the digestive system. The digestive system's high in acid. Then the food has to go from the stomach into the small intestine. The small intestine have little villi, finger-like things that absorb nutrients, and they don't like being burned up by acid. So we need a big pile, and that's why we have a gallbladder to squirt a bile into the small intestine at the duodenum to neutralize the effect of the stomach acid coming through. About 20% of the Dr. Wallach has 6 eggs per day. I have 4. Soft boiled, poached, or scrambled. Hard boiled or fried don't count, as it breaks down the cholesterol. Now, I have here a list of, anyone that's interested, they can contact me later. I've got a list of what Dr. Glidden considers low cholesterol and what he considers high cholesterol, and the breakdown. In America, they use milligrams per deciliter. In Australia, we use millimoles per litre, so they're all a bit different. But I can convert one to the other if you like, if someone wants me to do it. But they are a bit different. Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden are generally not interested in cholesterol levels as such, but they are if they are high or low, as it does indicate that there's something going on that might be serious, possibly an infection. They will start asking questions. Often what the MD consider as high cholesterol, they stays within the normal range. When people are avoiding bad foods, both the general bad foods for everybody and bad foods for them, the cholesterol levels tend to normalize. When people avoid the bad foods, both the bad foods that are for everybody and the bad foods that work for them, eat more of the good foods and supplement with the full 90 essential nutrients. As a bonus, I like breathing methods, and I prefer the Wim Hof method, which I quite like. That's an extra bonus. There's several other things you can do. They're my top 3. My understanding is that low cholesterol supports the $355 billion a year industry in America, and something relatively speaking similar in Australia. On a personal note, a couple of years ago, I got a bad case of cellulitis from a scratch from a dog bite. My arm was completely swollen and I could barely move my hand. My wife dragged me to see the doctor. I had trouble going to see doctors. I spent 2 days in hospital with a massive doses of antibiotics, and I had to see a hand surgeon. When my doctor finally checked my cholesterol levels, they were through the roof. I think our cholesterol levels are high when they're 5.5, and mine was about 8. My MD wanted to put me on statin drugs, and I thought to myself, severe infection, cholesterol levels, cholesterol's fixing up an infection. Well, that sounds perfectly normal to me. Anyway, I didn't do anything, and I'm fine. It takes understanding to go against the system. I'm not braver than the next person. It just takes understanding. How to avoid Alzheimer's disease. Fix the inputs and allow the wisdom of the body to fix the output. It's pretty simple, really. Add salt to taste to your food. Do not have a low cholesterol diet. Do not take cholesterol-lowering statin drugs. 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as that. You haven't actually spent any money at all. Eating fat doesn't make you fat, but eating sugar and carbohydrates does. Eat butter, not margarine, and no fried foods. Eggs, soft-boiled, poached, or scrambled. Stop being afraid of eating fat. Fat yields 9 calories of energy per gram compared to 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. This makes fat an excellent source of fuel during extended periods of energy expenditure. Dietary fats are more satisfying than carbohydrates. They take longer to digest and can help control the hunger and reduce the frequency of eating, potentially limiting calorie intake. Less than 100 years ago, people ate lard, which was fat, dripping, as they called it, and they never got fat. Have you ever seen a photo of people in the beach in the 1950s and 60s? There's no fat people anywhere. We're the fattest generation that's ever existed on the planet, and we avoid fats in preference to carbohydrates, sugars, and fried foods. Stop getting your nutritional advice from the media. If a farmer wants to put weight on his pigs, he doesn't feed them fat. He feeds them carbohydrates, which have a very high sugar content. How to improve your batting average? Get a coach. People with coach people with teachers, coaches, senseis, instructors, mentors, etc., do better than people without. Tracy and I are both coaches, and so are several of our friends. Learn enough to start and keep on learning enough to keep going. It's all a matter of deciding what you want, knowing why you want it, deciding what you're prepared to give up or give up to achieve it, and having an idea of how to start. Start where you stand, go with what you've got. The stars will never all align and tomorrow never come. Money is far from the biggest limiting factor. Farmers manage it all the time, and there is no such thing as health insurance for their commercial pig, cow, or chicken. Subsistence farmers have managed it from before money was even invented. Diet, off the bad foods, more of the good foods, fasting, 1, 2, or 3 day fast to try and work out, to kickstart your immune system and to try and work out what foods affect you. Because we eat it all the time, we don't know, because we have it all the time, so we don't know, can't see the difference. If you want to improve your batting average, Longevity's nutritional supplements are packed with the 90 essential nutrients, botanical wonders, and supercharged goodness. They will have you feeling like an Olympic champion. Your longevity coach will easily be able to organise a plan that will give you the right balance between what you want, what you need, and what you can afford. Breathing exercises I talked about before, there are many around the world. I like the Wim Hof method. There is a free app that gets you started. You only need to do it for as long as you need to keep breathing. After that, you can stop. Health is a journey, not a destination. A little question, can Alzheimer's disease be reversed in the early stages? Yes, but it does take a bit of effort and you'll need to see a coach. Interestingly, reversing any chronic disease is very problematical if they do the following 3 things. They're on a low salt diet, a low cholesterol diet, and they're taking cholesterol lowering statin drugs. Where have you heard that before? Survival of the fittest is in evidence all around us. Okay, this is my conclusion. I've told you my story. I told you what it took for me to question the system. I've gone through Alzheimer's disease, salt, cholesterol, how to avoid Alzheimer's disease, and what makes reversing chronic diseases quite difficult. We are in control. We've always been in control. We just didn't know we had control. Here's our call to action. Dive in, take the plunge, and join a longevity team. Spread the ripples. Like a pebble dropped into water, your action create ripples. Fix yourself up first and share. Very important. Fix yourself up first. Don't start trying to change the world before you're fixed up. And then share your experience with friends. They don't listen. They don't care what you and I say, but they do take note of what happens to us. Stay afloat, stay curious, committed, and connected, and celebrate the splash. Remember, the test of the objective of this talk is for you to completely avoid Alzheimer's disease for the rest of your life. Thank you for listening. Grant McGuinness, family man, veteran, survivor, manager of the Warrior Immune System Facebook group, certified holistic health coach, and Wallach warrior, independent longevity distributor. Thank you, Tracy. There we go.
Grant, thank you so much. What an inspiration you are. You really are, hand on heart, a man that we have so much respect for. We're certainly proud of you to show the world that you can get better, you can do better, and you're doing such a great job of service. And I know we're celebrating Anzac Day in the next couple of days, and we just want to honor you for your service and dedication, not only to Australia, but to mankind. And so I just wanted to say a really big special thank you for sharing tonight. If everybody else wants to come up, unmute, show up on your video, we'd love to see you. We'd love to just kind of honor you all together. A very special thank you. Maybe somebody has some words of wisdom or wants to share what they got out of your call or a question. But I definitely took some great notes. You know, how simple it is. Your top 3, get rid of the good food, bad food list, but also figure out what foods are bad for you. you're 90 for life, you're breathing, you're fasting, stay off the statin drugs, and start making sure you have more salt, more eggs, and definitely, again, come back to one thing together is breathe. Get your own personal results and start sharing it. So you did a great job. We really respect and honor you so much. Thank you so much, Grant. Appreciate that. Was
Thank
there
you, Tracy.
anybody else that wants to come on and just say some words of wisdom or thank you or
Can I?
something you got out of it? Bronwyn?
Yes, I just wanted to say, Grant, that was really awesome information. But most of all, I want to thank you for your service to this country and your fellow men. So God bless you, my friend.
Thank you, Bronnie.
Yeah.
I served overseas 6 times, and most of the time I went to places that had never, half the time I went to places I'd never seen a white man before. Very interesting. I loved my times overseas. It was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
And you're
Really,
very
really
right.
good.
Well, I hope those around you honor you as much as we do. We want to say thank you. Before we close off, if somebody pops on, just please put your hand up. But I wanted to remind everybody that in May is Mother's Day. We honor our mothers as well. We got some Mother's Day specials, and all of the Gigi Hill and the jewelry is all 50% off. But we do have 3 BOGO items going on right now. It happens to be our jewel. Jewel is a loaded antioxidants if you're really wanting to fight an immune system as well as anti-aging. Our Jewel is a very special antioxidants from the Orient, which is really quite special, as well as our I-26 capsules. We recommend that as one of our best products in our top 10 for sure for gut health, and happens to be if you buy one you get one free, as well as our midnight minerals, which happens to be the fulvic acid, fulvic and humic acid, which is amazing for eliminating toxins. Our skin is our #1 biggest organ, and it is fantastic to put onto our skin to help draw out all those toxins. So buy one, get one free, midnight minerals. And then last but not least, I just really wanted to announce, if you're listening to this right now, or whether it's the recording, we are going on a roadshow. Our very own head of global sales, Sean Brown, is coming down under again. He's bringing some new things for us. And we're doing a roadshow. We're going to 5 locations in 10 days. So please save the date in a location near you, or if somebody you know in this location. So we are starting off with the 8th of June in Melbourne. Then we are off to, oh no, I'm wrong. Please forgive me. We're in Christchurch on the 8th, and then Hamilton on the 9th. And then we go to the Gold Coast on the 11th of June. And then we fly to Melbourne, and we will do Melbourne on the, I believe it's the 15th. And then we go to Sydney on the 16th. Now, in saying that, save the dates. We will have more information go out. I believe the May newsletter, we hopefully can lock in all our details, and then you can start getting registered. But by the end of May, we will need a minimum of 20 people per location for us to go to that location. So I'm asking you to really help us make these events the biggest, best events that we have ever had for attendance. And we promise to deliver the best and bestest of event for you. So I hope you guys all had a great night. Thank you again. Was there anybody before we go? Let me just check out the comments in here. Question. Okay, we do have a question. Gracie, did you want to ask the question here on help cholesterol numbers? What is too high? LDL, HDL. So did I say the question right? Just a question on IDL, help cholesterol numbers. What is too high? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I can give you the figures, but it's all in American stuff, which is milligrams per deciliter. Is the person Australian or American?
I don't know, but just give it by the American, and then she can take those numbers and get it translated by Google.
Okay, all right. Total cholesterol, low. The healthy range of total cholesterol is between 150 and 180. Triglycerides, the healthy range is between 50 and 100 and 125. HDL cholesterol, the healthy range is between 55 and 120. And VDL cholesterol is between 6 and 20. LDL cholesterol is between 50 and 75. And the total cholesterol HDL ratio should be around 4. Now, if we're looking at the high total cholesterol, high is 199. That's considered quite high. And they're milligrams per deciliter. And triglyceride is 149. That's considered very high. HDL, 140 is considered high. VDL, 40 is considered very high. And LDL cholesterol, 99 is considered high. I can go through the low. The low is on total cholesterol is 100, and triglycerides is 0, and HDL cholesterol is 39, and VDL cholesterol is 5, and LDL cholesterol is 6, and total HDL cholesterol ratio is 0. So I can actually, if they send me a message, I can actually convert from one to the other.
Perfect.
But I'm reluctant to do my conversions and put them on the internet, because I might make a mistake. So
just
thank you. That was helpful. Thank you.
Very good, Gracie. Good. Yeah, Gracie, that's great. So you can send it to Gracie. It's Gracie DeSensi.
Oh, Gracie, it's Gracie. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll send you a note, Grant. Thank you.
Yeah, send me a note. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fine.
Julie Lucas says, thank you, Grant. Very good. Karen says, thank you, Grant. Great information, as well as obviously Bronwyn. We just want to say again, thank you, guys. You have a great night. I have a scheduled Fighting for Better Health call on the 30th of May. It is going to be about the midnight minerals, fulvic acid and humic acid. So stay tuned for that one. If I get any more guest speakers before that, I will definitely give you guys a heads up. Right now, our next call is the 30th of May. You guys have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you guys get registered once I put the registration out for the road show. You guys have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Grant. See ya.
See you, Gracie.
Bye.
Thank you. Everybody can unmute and say goodbye.
Ciao.
See you, Bronnie.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good to see you there, David.
Hi, Julie.
Maria, Yvonne, Tani, thank you. Thank you for joining in, you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.